something that I've realized in my business, and what I have kind of overcome is I'm going to talk to you about fear. And Joan yesterday kind of touched on it, and I was so happy that she did because it kind of really caveats into what I'm going to share with you today. So I'm going to talk with you about fear and how just share with you a little piece of my story. So a little bit of background. I'm a mom. I have 3 small kids. There are 5 and 2 are 4. So yes, I have 3 kids under the age of 5. And I'll caveat this with, when I started Color Street, I had 3 under 3 and they were all in diapers. And that's when we got a Sam's Club membership and a Costco membership. And I was working full time as a nurse manager. I was working probably 50, 60 hours a week. I'm married. Life was crazy back then. And when I started Color Street, I had maybe even this much experience when it came to direct sales. I had dabbled in it a little bit because I liked the product and I was using it, but I never took full advantage of the opportunity. And then Color Street landed in my lap. So what I'm going to share with you today is about fear and how it is real and how it really almost killed my business before I even got started. So I should start by telling you that even up until yesterday, when I was asked to do the Connect the Dots, I was fearful of coming and sharing with all of you guys, because this is a group with 60,000 people. Holy crap, that's a lot. I was fearful of even sharing my story. So fear is real. And it's something that I live with every day. I hope somebody that's watching this can relate. But what I'm going to tell you is I was stuck in my mindset. And when I was coming up with, kind of 3 key things that I was going to share with you about fear and how I had overcome some of this, I was fearful of sharing my story. So what I had to do was I called my friend Amanda and I said, Amanda, I'm going to Starbucks. And she was like, okay, why are you going to Starbucks? And I was like, I'm sitting in my office and I'm so I'm in a mental block. I'm just so kind of inside my own head saying, there's no way that I can do this. There's no way that I can go live and talk in front of all of these people and share about fear. There's no way that I can do this. And she said, Jessica, stop, get out of your own head. You are capable of doing this. So I call her when I get to Starbucks, and I took my notebook because you can't go in anywhere right now. So I take my notebook and I take my pen and I'm jotting notes and I'm thinking the whole way there, and it's about a 10-minute drive. I'm thinking all the way there of the things that I want to share. And then I get to Starbucks parking lot and I was really thinking that, so I get into the drive-through line and I was really thinking that the line was going to be a lot longer and I'd have more time to think, but it wasn't really that long. I was actually kind of shocked. So I pull into the parking lot and I have my chai tea latte and I'm drinking it and, I'm taking some notes, and it was incredible. Just kind of that I removed myself from this environment where I was afraid and I was kind of stuck in my own head and fearful that I didn't have I was fearful that I didn't have what it took to come live and share with you this story. But what I found was when I got out of my comfort zone of my office and I put myself in a place where my mind could be a little bit more free, it was relaxing. It was actually a nice-ish day in Ohio. It was in the 50s. It was incredible. And all of a sudden I started, I was writing down things that I wanted to share that I thought was really important. And I began to be less fearful as I sat there and I was able to write down some notes, and it became more clear to me that I was letting my own inner mean girl control my thoughts right then. And that inner mean girl was telling me that I didn't have what it took to do this today. So I'm really excited that I was able to kick that inner mean girl away and I was able to say, you know what, you can do this. You've got this. So that's my story, kind of how we got started. But I'm going to talk to you about 3 different areas of fear that I have faced in my business and personally, and how I overcame those. So if you didn't hear that, I had like this much direct sales experience before. So my first biggest fear was fear of being vulnerable. Okay. So I was afraid that I didn't know the ins and outs of direct sales. I didn't know how to sell a product. I didn't know everything there was to know about Color Street when I started. I knew that I liked the nail polish. My husband liked that I wasn't having to go to the nail salon, and I was able to spend more time at home with my 3 small kids. So I was fearful that if I started with this project with Color Street and I wanted to potentially sell to my friends and family, I was fearful of putting myself out there because I didn't have any sales experience. I didn't have any, I didn't really have any kind of built up compassion for the product. Sorry, my glasses are kind of fogging up. I was afraid of being rejected by my friends and family if I were to offer them this product. So what I did was I built this kind of wall around me. Yes, I love the product and I was buying it and I was, sharing all the different colors that I was getting with my friends and family. But I had built this wall around myself that really limited what I could do because I didn't want to be hurt. So what I did was I reached out to one of my good friends and I kind of told her I was stuck. I didn't think that I was going to do very well in Color Street and I liked the product and I was just going to throw the towel in before I even got started. And she said, Jessica, why do you feel this way? And I said, well, I'm fearful that no one's going to want to buy from me. I'm fearful that I don't have what it takes to do this. And she says, why? And I said, I don't know, because I've never done it before. And she says, you're the perfect person. Go out and just share what you love about the product and see what that does. So little by little, I was able to kind of chisel away at that wall that I had built up around myself. And I started choosing to research more on personal development, specifically on fear and vulnerability. And what I found was that by making a conscious choice of choosing words of positivity and using daily affirmations and really focusing on changing how my thoughts were about myself and kind of kicking that inner mean girl out, I was able to chisel away at that wall little by little. And I met up with that same person that I told that I was going to throw the towel in. I spoke with her probably 6-8 weeks after we had that conversation, and she was like, how did it go? How are you doing? And I was like, well, I feel really good. My sales are actually kind of good. I think I'm doing okay. And then we started talking about all of the things that I had accomplished, and she was like, Jessica, you do have it in you to do this. You do have it in you to be a Color Street stylist. You're doing all of this stuff. I'm so proud of you. And what I started to realize was that I had it in me all along. I had it in me to be able to say, I've got it. I can do this. And yes, it was very hard to take those first initial steps because I was fearful of not knowing what I needed to know to be successful, but it was okay. And I gave myself grace and I told myself, Jessica, you're not going to be an expert and it's okay. It is okay that you don't know all of the answers. It is okay that you may have to, text a friend or phone a friend to find out what the answer is to this, or reach out to somebody to help you with this. It's okay. So I started using those words, daily affirmation, choosing words of confidence, and starting to say to myself, I can do this. I will do this. And I can bring X to the table. It was amazing the amount of support that I started to see when I started to share that I was afraid. I was afraid of this rejection, and the support and the camaraderie that I found with not only my fellow Color Street ladies, but also with my friends and family. They were the ones that kind of rallied around me to say, "You do got this. Look at what you're capable of doing." So that's really kind of how I overcame that first fear of being vulnerable. The second is fear of the word no. All right. So if any of my teammates are watching this, they will probably tell you that a lot of times we talk about the word no. And when I started, the word no probably paralyzed me every single time. I'm not even going to say probably. It paralyzed me. Every time that I heard the word no, I took it personal. I took it that they didn't want something that I had to offer, that I was doing something wrong, I wasn't doing it the right way, or they didn't want to support me or what have you. So this fear of the word no, I could come up with a handful of excuses as to why I couldn't ask somebody to host a party. I couldn't sell somebody the product. I couldn't talk to the person about the product. I couldn't even talk about the potential with the business opportunity that I had found all of this newfound success with. I couldn't do any of that because I was afraid of hearing the word no. And we talk about the word no a lot, and now it's something that I kind of laugh at. But no doesn't mean no forever. No means no for right now. It doesn't work right now for this person, and that's okay. You know what? When you continually start asking people and you start talking about it more, the more people that you talk with, you're going to eventually get a yes, or you're going to get a tell me more. You're going to continue to do that. If you stop when you hear the word no and you're like, that's it, I'm done, I'm throwing in the towel, I can't do this, you will never go anywhere. And you will truly be paralyzed, kind of like I was at the beginning when I was fearful that people were going to say no, that they didn't want the product, they didn't want to hear what I had to offer to them. It was really that self-limiting belief that I didn't have it in me to do this, and I didn't have it in me to move past and continue to work for that yes. Right now, when I was talking to my team not too long ago, and we were talking about no, and I gave them a challenge to go for no, asking 100 people in the month, about either hosting a party, learning more about being a stylist, or the product. I asked them to do 100. I asked them to reach out to 100 new people and share with them about Color Street in those 3 categories. And a couple ladies messaged me and they're like, Jessica, ain't no way I can do this. No way that I can ask 100 people to either try Color Street, host a party, about the business opportunity. There's no way that I can do that. Somebody's going to say no, and that's it. And I told them, I said, when you ask 100 people, I guarantee you will get at least 30 yeses. Yes, 30 yeses. So what I challenged them, and that was back in February. I had 5 girls that stuck with that challenge. 5 girls that stuck with that challenge. And you know what? All 5 of them came back and said, I made a calendar and I kind of wrote out what I needed to do and who I was going to reach out to which week. And I made a game plan. And I said, you know what? I'm going to do it. I'm going to challenge myself to take a step outside of my comfort zone and do this. And you know what? I have 30 new potential contacts. I have 30 new people that are interested in the business, that I have 30 new people that are ready to host a party within the next 30 to 45 days. I have all of this because you challenged me. It was so empowering to hear that those 5 ladies took me up on that challenge. And those are 5 ladies that were, I could see a lot of myself in them. And I was really, really, really thankful that they took me up on this, because it was really nice to be able to see that, yes, when we work for the word no, eventually you're going to get those yeses. Eventually you're going to start hearing yes. For 1 in every 10 people that you ask about either the product or you share with them about the business opportunity, 1 in every 10 are going to say yes. 1 in every 10. Okay. So if you're only asking one person a day, or you're only asking one person a week, it's going to take you a long time. So start talking. The more you talk about it, the more you get more comfortable with the topic at hand. And it's really helpful to kind of just set out a game plan. Set out a game plan of who you're going to reach out to. So that was the second fear. The third fear is my favorite thing to talk about, and that is fear of comparison. And I would be remiss if I said that in direct sales, there is no comparison. There is no comparing yourself to one another. And I will tell you that in direct sales, I have seen a lot in my 2.5 years, and I've heard a lot of conversations about, well, I'm not as good as so-and-so. I'm not doing what so-and-so is doing. I haven't rank advanced as quickly as so-and-so. And it takes me back to a time where I was. And in those first initial kind of months that I had with Color Street, even probably a good first 6 months, I was fearful that I wasn't doing as good as the person next to me that enrolled very quickly, or enrolled at the same exact time that I did. I was comparing what I was doing in my own journey to what they were doing. And yes, they had direct sales experience. Yes, they had a really large network of people that they kind of brought with them, and they already had established kind of a rapport with. I was comparing myself, that was really brand new. I was comparing myself to them, and I was setting myself up for failure. I was setting myself up to not be able to really travel my own path, but really I was setting myself up to fail. I was setting myself up to fail if I would continue to look at the person to my left and look at the person to my right and say, I'm not as good as they are. I'm not as good as they are. I'm just doing my own thing. I'm right here, and maybe I didn't get any sales today, or I didn't hit the first commission volume, or whatever it was back then. But you kind of get the idea. I was comparing myself to the person to the left and the right, and I wasn't focused on what I needed to do to be successful. So it took a lot of, I'm going to go back to personal development, talking with a mentor, talking with a good friend. And I was telling her that, I wasn't doing as good as so-and-so, and I wasn't doing this, and I didn't see myself doing that. And she said, Jessica, stop comparing yourself to those people. You're not those people. It's like she almost wanted to shake me, like, stop doing this. I was inside my own head, and I was setting myself up for failure. And she told me, you are not those people. You are Jessica. You are the one that can control your destiny. You are the one that is in the driver's seat. You are the one that will make it or break it. But you have to know that it's you. It's all about you. And you have it in you to do this. So what did I do? I kind of put my blindfolds on. Okay. And I didn't not cheer on people. I didn't keep them up to where I wasn't, focused on anybody else. It was more the fact that I needed to learn how to appreciate what I was able to do, what I was capable of doing. And at the time, remember, I was working probably 50, 60 hours a week at this job. My job as a nurse manager. I was working all of these hours, and I had to get creative with ways that I was going to be successful. And putting those blindfolds up really allowed me to focus on myself and focus on my own business. it allowed me to take time to invest with the people that were investing in me and that trusted me with our product. So I started to build relationships. Color Street, I always say, we're a party-based business and we're a relationship-based business. If you don't have relationships with customers that you are gaining, you are truly missing out on the heart of what Color Street is. It is truly about building these relationships and building kind of a network of support for yourself. So I started to build relationships, and it was hard for me because I hadn't met most of these people that were in my VIP space, and I hadn't met some of my customers. They were just, friends of a friend of a friend. And then all of a sudden I look up and I have this VIP group and there's like 100 people in there. And I was like, holy crap, I don't even have 100 friends. I probably don't even have 50 friends. How did I get all these people? Like, I was just dumbfounded how much it was that I took the time to invest in building relationships and truly starting to share myself with them. I started to kind of spoil them by, making sure that they felt like a VIP person. I started making sure that I was sharing about myself so that they knew a little bit about me, that I wasn't just this Color Street stylist that wanted to sling all this nail polish at them. I was truly invested in knowing about them and getting to know kind of what they like. Why do they like Color Street? Are they a mom? Do they work? Do they have kids? Are they a grandma? Are they aunt, uncle, whatever? I didn't care who was in that group. I wanted to make sure that I was helping them to realize that they were special. And that really helped me to kind of stay focused in my own business. It was the time that I invested in my VIP group and expanding my network and pushing my introverted self out and making connections with people. It was incredible to see that by doing that, I was able to grow all of these newfound friendships. I was able to not be embarrassed when I would say, hey, I'm a mom, I'm a wife, and I'm a really crappy, lousy housewife. Like, I would go live. I'm just going to tell you this, and this is totally telling it myself. I would sit in my laundry room around like piles of clothes that had been in the laundry room for God knows how long. I would sit there and I would go live and say, hey guys, I'm working on orders today from so-and-so date. But first I have to get my laundry done. And they would see these mounds of, piles of clothes. And I would get so much interaction with people that say, oh my gosh, you're just like me. You have clothes everywhere. You've got, you don't have everything all together. And it was so incredible to see that even if I shared the dirty, the ugly, like the not all put together perfect scenario, it was incredible to see how building that true kind of foundation for my VIP group, and I still continue to do to this day, that I was able to create the best version of myself, and I was able to see that I did have it in me to share. I did have it in me to kind of break down that wall, as you will. And yes, as even up until yesterday, I was fearful. But you know what? It has taken 3 years. It has taken 3 years to realize that A, I'm not perfect. B, sometimes I get it wrong. 3, I will still struggle every single day with fear. But I have learned that fear is really controlled by my inner mean girl. And when I'm able to kick my inner mean girl out and I choose to start my day with positivity, use my daily affirmations, start using words of positivity and saying, I can do this, I will do this, and I can bring X to the table. When I'm able to use those words every single day, it is amazing how much it has changed my life. So that's what I wanted to share with you. And I'm super thankful that I had the opportunity to come on in the official group and share this with you. Like I said, up until yesterday, my inner mean girl said I couldn't do it. So I'm so glad that I was able to kick that inner mean girl aside and be able to say, you know what, you got this, Jessica. You've overcome so much in these 2.5 years that you've been a Color Street stylist. You have it in you to do this. So if you are struggling with an inner mean girl, my advice to you is reach out to a mentor, reach out to somebody that you trust. You can reach out to your family member, reach out to your sponsor, reach out to somebody and tell them where you're struggling. Reach out and tell them, I have this, I want to do this, and this is where I'm struggling. Reach out to them and tell them. You will be amazed at what you hear when you say those words out loud. You'll start to hear those people start to support you, and how can I help you? How can I make you successful? How can I support you? Those different things. Say that out loud, and then make an honest commitment to yourself to not let your inner mean girl rule your world. Let your inner mean girl know that you are in control. She's not in control. So with that, I'll leave you guys. I hope you have a fantastic week. It's nice today in Ohio, and because I have makeup on and I'm kind of all put together, I think I'm going to go maybe stroll through Target. So I'll talk to you guys later. Have a great week. Bye, guys.